Hello and welcome. Have you ever been crushing your workouts and you were just doing so good? You had this really long streak, the year started off great and you're crushing it, and then you got sick and it just went out the window. That's what just happened to me, and I just kind of want to share my story in hopes that it gets you some incentive and some motivation and some inspiration to get back onto your streak, because I totally lost it. It was such a bummer. I was doing great. I started off the year. I had some workout goals, and I use the Peloton app. I recommend the Peloton app so much, not so much the one that you need the bike for, but the one that's just the plain old app, because I really find that that's for me, that's been great, but that's a conversation for another day. But I had this nice long streak going. I was stacking workouts. I was having a great time. And then I got sick. And it was one of those colds that you could hear I'm still stuffed up. It was one of those colds where you couldn't breathe and you just felt awful. And I wear this Aura ring, which is another fitness tracker, and it was showing me my temperature was going up, and it was showing, kept saying, you need to rest, you need to stop, going after so much. Recovery is priority right now, and I get it. I know. I've trained as a personal trainer. I know how important it is to rest and recovery, but I didn't want to break my streak, and it was just have you been there where you're just like, if I lose my motivation, that's it. I'm done. I'm gonna lose. It'll be take me months to get back on track, and I didn't want that. And then in the middle of all this, it was my birthday. So like the day before my birthday, I'm like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna will myself to feel better. Yeah, I woke up and I did not feel better. I felt worse. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Like this is not what I wanted. This is how my year was going so great, and I fell off. So can you relate? Have you been there where you just had an illness and it just whoosh, it just sidetracked you? And I hope that this video inspires you to say, yes, you can get back on. And we'll talk a bit about how I got back on. I really, for me, I just didn't want to break my streak. And I knew from past experience, right? Like when you lose it, right? And it's just so hard to get back up. And so I'm Julianne Price. I have a website called Life Edit and Design, and I help women who are determined to live their best life. I help them edit out the worry and design in the joy so they really can live their best life. And if that sounds good to you, go over and hit that subscribe button. And I have lots of tips and ways, and they're short, actionable things that you can do to live your best life. But back to my story. I was just so sad that I lost my streak, and that I lost my mojo for working out. And then I started to feel better, and it was just like, laying in bed one morning, I'm like, I don't want to get up. I was starting to feel better. And so, I come up with an excuse like, let me go check my ring stats. What's it telling my temperature is? Like, oh, okay, my temperature's back to normal. And I'm laying there and I'm like, I was doing so good. And it was like a little bit of that poor me syndrome. And if you want to see another video about the poor me syndrome, go over and check out the video on self-reflection and too much time. What happens when you over self-reflect? That's a great video. I'll put the link below. But I was there. I was like, I don't want to do this. And I remembered a Simon Sinek video that I'd watched. And he's like, the good life is hard. The good life takes effort. The good life is not easy. You have to do the hard stuff. And I remember, I don't know if you've ever watched Wim Hof. He's the Ice Man, and he's the guy who does the cold plunges, and does a marathon in his shorts up in the snow, and all these crazy things. But his whole thing is the cold, the benefits of cold. But one thing he says is it's always hard. It never gets easy to go jump in that ice cold bath or the ice cold river. He's like, it's always a hard thing. It's always a decision I have to make. And I was lying in bed and I was thinking about that, and I'm like, it's hard. I get it. It's hard to get up and do the workout, but you can do it. You can do hard things. You can get up. And what's the hard thing? The hard thing is just putting on the gym clothes. You could do that. That's not that hard. You could do that. And then once you do that, that's the hardest part. Then you're like, okay, I'm already dressed. Then you go do the workout, and turning on the app. That's not hard, right? So the hard thing is getting those clothes on. And so my advice to you, or my tip for you, is you can do those hard things. You can do it. And how hard is it really? Jumping in a cold bath, that's pretty darn hard, but you could do it. And that day, the first day I got up and I'm like, I put on my clothes and I went and I did my workout, and then I hopped in the shower and I'm like, I'm doing the cold shower. I'm just to prove to myself that I can do those hard things. So when you've lost that mojo, when you've lost your streak, And it's like, all right, how do I get back into it? How do I get back into working out? My advice to you is just tell yourself, yes, it's hard, but you can do it. And the second thing that I did was I made sure that the workouts were fun. So, yes, the hard thing was getting the clothes on, the hard thing was going over and doing the workout. But after that, I made sure it was fun. So, normally I pick out my workouts on what's the most effective and the most efficient. What can I do in the shortest amount of time that gives me the most bang for my buck? And I've had to change that. In this season of life, I've had to move to what can I do that just is the most fun and that's the most enjoyable. So, like, there's a one of the workouts on Peloton is the walk and talk, where he just the instructor just talks about what's going on in Hollywood, and it's like a gossipy fun. It's just very light, but at the same time, you are working out, you are doing a walk, and I do those things, and that's more fun. So it may not be the most effective workout, but it's the most fun. And as soon as I finish this video, I'm going for a walk, and that's just I picked a fun route, like an outdoor route that's just enjoyable. It's pretty. And so I'm not doing so much what's effective as what's enjoyable. And so when you're getting back from a streak, that's another way to tweak it to make it work. So you do the hard thing, you get the gym clothes on, but then make sure there's something enjoyable, whether it's the workout or the post workout. Maybe you go and get the coffee, or you go and get a great smoothie or something you really enjoy. But you want to just give yourself that extra oomph, like, okay, I can do the hard thing, the hard thing's short, I can get myself to the gym, or I can get in the car and turn the car on. That's the hard part. And after that, it's easier. And then make sure you enjoy some piece of it. A great soundtrack is an easy thing you can do. Make sure you have like this epic soundtrack that you absolutely love. Find something to make that the work enjoyable, and then you get your mojo back. And now I'm back, like I'm in the groove again, so I can go back and do some of the harder workouts. It doesn't have to be such an easy enjoyable workout. I can do something a little bit harder because I've got my mojo back and I'm back on track. So I hope that those tips are helpful to you and that help you kind of find your way back after an illness. And getting back after a setup, or excuse me, a setback is huge. But I want you to know that there's more to it. That living your best life, yes, is about doing the hard things, but there is so much more to it. And I want you to really regain control over your life and live with the passion and the freedom. And I have a course called Own Your Future, and I'll put the link down below. But that's all about giving you the guidance and the design tips that you need to really live your best life. And it's all about doing that hard stuff. But this course is very short. This course is not hard. So check out the link below if it's something of interest to you. And I hope that this has inspired you. So if you're feeling kind of like, how do I get back into my workout? I hope that this gives you that joy and that direction to say, you can do this. You can do the hard stuff. And I'm here for you. And again, check out that course in the link below. And I hope that we see each other again. And take care. And again, hit that subscribe button if you want more information or more tips like this. And take care. We'll see you soon. And I'm going to go for that walk right now. I'm really looking forward to it.